This is the first of a number of videos in which we'll review all the 8 parts of speech. And as we're doing this, I thought it might be nice to have a look at some famous sentences, opening sentences from different novels. And in this video, we'll start with Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. So our sentence reads, "It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife." And one of the things you'll notice here is that there are some commas here. And these days we probably wouldn't put commas here, but we'll just ignore that for now. Of course, this has more to do with punctuation anyways than with parts of speech. If we were to divide the sentence into its clauses, so again, we're getting ahead of ourselves here, but a clause is a complete unit that has a subject and a verb. Then we have 2 clauses here. We have one that starts with it and ends with acknowledged, and a second one that starts with that and ends with wife. Okay. So in the first clause then, we have it, which is a pronoun. So that's a pronoun. It's also the subject of this part of the sentence, so it's our subject as well. And we have a verb that goes with it, is a linking verb. And usually what comes after a linking verb is either a noun or an adjective that describes the subject. So here we have truth. It's a noun. It can also be called the subject complement because it describes the subject, it. So the linking verb is usually seen as a kind of equal sign, right? So it equals truth. We have a few other words here as well. We have and is an article. There are just a few articles. There's un, and the. And articles are usually classified as an adjective. So if you were to say truth is the noun, what kind of truth? You would say a truth. And so you can see that modifies truth. We have some other description here as well. So we have universally and acknowledged. Acknowledged is an adjective. And it's an adjective that's formed from a past participle. So if you were to take the verb to acknowledge, then that can become acknowledged as the past participle. And a past participle is a verbal. There's just a few verbals. There are past participles, present participles, and infinitives. And a verbal can act like an adjective. So here, acknowledged also describes truth. And then the last one here, universally, ends in ly, which is a kind of giveaway. So this is an adverb, but you may still be wondering what it describes. And in this case, universally goes with acknowledged. So acknowledged to what extent or to what degree? Universally acknowledged to that kind of degree. And adverbs can modify verbals and adjectives. So they usually modify the verb, but they can do this other kind of modification as well. So that's our opening clause. Then we get to the second part, and we start with that, which is a subordinating conjunction. Subordinating conjunction. You might argue that this is the most important word in a sentence because it connects everything that follows to the first clause. And the second part here then is a dependent clause. And it cannot stand by itself. So clauses are either independent or dependent. If they can be a sentence by themselves, then they're independent. Then we have we've had this one already. So is the article, and we might as well just underline the other ones in this sentence. There's 4 of them. Then we have man, a single man. So there's our noun. And this is also our subject for this clause. Now, the verb comes quite a bit later, so must be is the verb phrase. The verb phrase, and must, in case you want to know, is a modal auxiliary, a kind of helping verb. Okay, so a modal auxiliary. Be is another linking verb, incidentally. Then we have, going back here, single, that's an adjective. And it's modifying man. So what kind of man? A single man. And then we have a whole bunch of prepositional phrases. So we have in possession of a good fortune, in want, and of a wife. 4 prepositional phrases. And you can always put these in brackets because prepositional phrases are not part of the core of the sentence. They just add some extra flavor and extra information. So our prepositions then are in, of, in, and of. And you can see a nice pattern there actually. We have possession, that's a noun. We have fortune, there's a noun. We have want, which is a noun, and wife, which is a noun. And again, you can see the pattern here, which is that in each case, the preposition has an object, and the object is usually a noun or a pronoun, which is then being related to the rest of the sentence. So that's pretty much it. We also have good, of course, which is another adjective and just gives a little bit more information about fortune. What kind of fortune? A good fortune. So that's the whole sentence. It's a bit messy now, but you can see that with a little bit of dedication and time, you can take the whole sentence apart, and we'll do some other videos as well with some other famous sentences.